日本ニュータイムへようこそ。Hey guys, it's Victor for the gimmeabreakman channel. Today, all over the Japanese news, and yesterday, from the mid-afternoon, from midday yesterday, the big story has been of a man named Shigemasu Tokunaga, very cool samurai-sounding name, murdering his neighbor Setsuko Kubo, 62 years old. He's 86, she's 62. He's an ex-policeman. I don't know what she did. She's unfortunately dead now. And the way he did it is the big story. He almost cut off her head completely with a Japanese sword, a nihontou. Nihontou is the way we say Japanese sword. And nihontou are the only swords that are considered are controlled by the Japanese Firearms and Sword Act. So I don't know if you know this, but if you have a gun, it is possible to have a gun in Japan. It's very, very difficult to have a gun or rifle. If you live out in Hokkaido or somewhere where there are bears, or you need it, to protect yourself out in nature or hunting, it is possible to have one, but it's very, very difficult. Swords are a little bit easier to have. They have something called a torokusho, which is basically a license. And you keep the license. The license goes with the sword. So you can actually sell a sword, and you've got to report it to the police officers within 20 days that, oh, I've sold the sword, I no longer own it, now he owns it. So they do have gun control or sword control, weapon control here. Anyway, the only kind of sword that is considered a nihontou, and one that can be licensed, is made from a kind of steel called tamahagane. Tamahagane. Interesting, huh? Anyway, and there's a whole bunch of rules about swords that I did not know that I will put links to in the description, because some of you might actually be interested in owning an authentic Japanese sword, not those crappy things that you find at the mall that you can get for 60 bucks, right? But a real one. Of course, the prices will vary, I'm sure, up to the millions of dollars. Anyway, this guy was having trouble with his neighbor, and one of the things that I guess that made him snap was before the actual murder yesterday was they had a fight, and she apparently mounted him. They had kind of physical scuffle, and she mounted him, as in threw him on the ground and jumped on top of him, and he's on the ground, so he felt, I guess, emasculated, so to speak, psychologically. And after that, he would be seen standing outside his house sharpening his sword, which originally was sabiteru, full of sabi. Sabi is rust. It was rust, but he started polishing it and sharpening it, and eventually all the rust came off. And one of the neighbors said, and then I could see that it was shining, right? So apparently all the rust came off. Sabi is rust. I will put notes in the description, and I won't be adding subtitles to this one because I'm a little bit pressed for time today. But very interesting story. And the thing is, it's all over the news. You don't really hear about stuff like this. And he almost chopped off her head. They said, hobo setsudan shiteita, or something like that. Hobo is almost, and setsudan is when something is severed. Setsudan suru. I always joke with my students when they get a cut. I said, oh, you better amputate that. Amputate. Setsudan shita hoga ii yo. You should amputate that finger now because you got a little cut. Anyway, that's kind of humor I enjoy. Yeah, well, then the other funny thing about this story is the way the Japanese anchormen talk about it. They're like, the anchorman this morning was turning to his co-anchor, a woman, and said, have you ever can you imagine hating someone so much you want to kill them and kill yourself? I mean, that's how much this guy hated her. He was willing to die. He just wanted to kill her. And she's like, no, I can't imagine how that feels. They're always asking what I consider kind of stupid questions. But let me point something out to new foreigners coming to Japan, because this is something that's part of the culture here. Japanese like to ask kind of what we might consider stupid questions. Let me give a very simple example. If you're in a room with a Japanese person alone and you ask them a question, they will say, who, me? Watashi desu ka? Oh, boku desu ka? You're like, yeah, you, I'm talking to you, of course. There's nobody else in the goddamn room. What's wrong with you, right? And yeah, things like that. Or they comment, about the weather and things. Oh, it's sunny today. Oh, it's raining today, Like, yeah, I know that. But it's not really a stupid question. It's just kind of the way people communicate here. They say things that are kind of obvious, and I guess it's a way to easily agree with someone. You say something and then gives that person a chance to agree. I don't know exactly why they do it, but I wouldn't get too frustrated over it. Though it did, I'll admittedly frustrate me a little bit, like, because I'm like, that's kind of pointless conversation. But it's part of the way people interact here. So get used to it. Anyway, like I said, links in the description to places if you're interested in buying swords and more information about that. And yeah, although the Japan Today story on this is very, very short, it is all over Japanese TV right now. So I will also link to a video here, and you can learn some new Japanese words regarding murders of this type. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will talk to you soon.